I take a good look at my hands. They have so much to say. They're scratchy, some parts are bleeding, and in others, the skin has peeled off. I reach out for the bandage and I carefully rub each one of my fingers, trying to protect them and hoping they will heal soon. The gloves come next. I need to protect them every day. It still hurts, but I must keep going. My hands, what would I do without them? I was born in Mexico in a family of 13 brothers and sisters. I was the one in the middle, and because of my older siblings were male, I had to serve them while also care for the younger ones. As a woman in Mexico, born in a machismo family and context, that's how it is. As a woman, I had no voice. You do what you are told, eh, and I had no choice but to obey my family. I used to love to go to school. I was very good at math. I even helped my father doing the numbers in his business. But at the young age of 11 years old, my parents took me out of school so that I could work in the house, taking care of my younger siblings, clean for my older ones, and to help my father with his business. I couldn't follow my dreams or my will, although my true desire was to continue in school. I loved going to school, and even though I had to do so many home chores, I tried to finish them quickly so that I could go to school. I had to wake up very early to do all this. I was just a child, but with all this workload, I was exposed from my childhood. When I was 14 years old, my parents put me for sale like an animal or an item so they could have more money. I wanted to escape and planned to do it with the help of one of my father's workers. He was 30 years old and help me run away, but he tricked me and abused me for over 2.5 years. I live in constant fear. I had two children with him who grew up with nutrition problems. And finally, I got the help from his sister to escape and leave him. I ran away and crossed illegally the border from Tijuana to California. I couldn't take my kids with me, and it scares me so much. I left them behind with my parents so that I could survive and make a living. I didn't want to leave them very long with them because I didn't want my kids to go through the same kind of abuse that I had gone through with my family. This was only temporary. My plan was to save up enough money so that actually I could bring them with me. Eventually, I could bring them with me. It was my opportunity to escape, to leave all my traumatic experiences and all was behind me. Although the trauma followed me and still haunts me to this very day, trying to prevent me from sharing my story. When, when we got to the border of Tijuana, we tried to cross the border at nighttime. That's how you do it. But we got caught by the border patrol and put us in jail for a few hours, and then they bused us to the border of Tijuana. Back in Tijuana, we tried a second time, and this time we made it. I was 17 when I set foot on California. My older sister was already there, and she helped me to find a job as a nanny and maid for an American family. I lived and worked in their home where I had to clean, cook, and nanny their three kids after school. The woman who hired me was a stay-home mom and she was bored with herself. So she taught me how to play cards and drink beer with her. I was still a minor and was an underage for drinking alcohol. I was getting 50, I was getting paid $50 for a full week of work. without any breaks. I needed more money so I could save to bring my children from Mexico. So I asked one of my brothers if I could work with them in the agriculture work, just like them. They told me it was a hard work, and they were right. It was a difficult work, but I still prefer that to be a maid to that family. I moved in with my brothers. They rented out a parking garage and a home where we were living, the four of us all together. We had no kitchen, no bathroom, but at least the landlord allowed us to come inside her house and use them. That's how you do it when you are undocumented. You live together, crowded in small spaces. Every day, I woke up early in the morning between 1 and 3 a.m. to make breakfast and lunch, burritos and tacos. We had to drive to different farms and wait for the time to start. It was a very difficult work to do. Drive far away, and the pay was miserable. And it's pay by what you collect. So if we wanted to earn more money, we had to work extra harder. We had no benefits, no restroom, no safety equipment. And for lunch, we had to set a fire to heat our food and sit down on the floor. Moreover, the agricultural work is seasonal. When it rains, there's no work, no money. All the workers in the field were immigrants, Latinos, most from Mexico. It was a hard work. I saw many workers suffer from heat stroke, dehydration, and they gave up. I started working as a picker lemons and oranges. They paid $14.50 for bin. I needed 16 bags, about 40 pounds of lemons to fill out the bin, and $12.50 for bin of oranges. I needed 12 bags of oranges in order to fill the bin, which was about 3 by 3 width and 3 feet high. It was a very difficult work to do. It also was back-breaking and risky when we had to climb the ladders to reach oranges and lemons. We fell many times and some workers got injured so bad. Nowadays, I have back problems because of many years working in the agriculture. Moreover, 7 years ago, I had an accident at my former work and I hurt my back, and they found out that I have not only a herniated and pinched nerve disc, but also degenerative and osteoporosis in two other discs. I remember the hardest thing was packing corn when I left a job with my brothers. I put bandages around my fingers and wore plastic gloves, but even like that, my hands bled every day. But I had to use them for the next day for work. They will bleed and hurt every day. I had trouble feeding myself because it came to a point when I couldn't even hold a spoon with my hands. Thinking about how difficult and risky at the same time, how essential this kind of work really is, it's so underpaid. Unfortunately, this continues to be the same way today. On top of all, we face another difficulty. The Border Patrol, or better known as La Migra, was always after us, and they will catch us and deport us. We lived in constant fear. I remember being fearful even of the Pacific Belt bands because they had the same white and greenish colors of the Border Patrol cars. All I wanted to do, all we wanted to do was to work. We never engaged in any criminal activity or got in trouble with the police. I was not afraid of getting my job done, but very afraid of the Border Patrol. While working with my brothers, we were deported to Tijuana, Mexico, about 4 times. I remember the Border Patrol agents taking away our lunch and eating it right in front of us, knowing that we were hungry, and mocking and laughing at us, saying it was delicious. We suffer so much with this, not only with the US Border Patrol, but also with the police in Tijuana, Mexico, who would stop us, take us to an empty field, search us, and, and then steal all the money we have with us. It was very scary on both sides of the border. When we crossed was at nighttime and we were hungry and very cold. Every time that I was deported, I chose to cross the border be, again and come back because it was the only option to survive in my life. I found out about the packing jobs and I decided to go packing green squash, later on the corn. It was very difficult because I had to stand on my feet for long hours, but I learned to pack fast. They paid about 10 to 15 cents per box, so I put a lot of effort and worked quickly. I packed up to 500 boxes daily and earned more money. There were days that we had so many orders and we had to work up to 14 hours with no breaks, no food. At the end of my shift, I remember feeling dizzy and weak. Sometimes I didn't even know where the building exit was. It was a difficult job too, but at least I never saw the immigration agents on my way to work. And that was a relief for me. At least I didn't have to worry about that. I worked for 7 months so I could save money to bring my children with my kids, to bring my children's. And with my kids here, I had to work even harder because agriculture is seasonal. I had to work different jobs. For example, when it rains, you can't work and therefore you don't earn money. So I had to take different jobs. I work mornings as a packer and at night I work a second job cleaning offices. In 1987, we got great news. President Ronald Reagan gave the amnesty to all the undocumented immigrants and permits the ones in the agriculture job. I qualified to get legalized and my kids as a family unit. This was such a relief for me and had a, such a huge impact in my life. And I was so grateful to President Reagan that I named my only son Ronald after him. No more deportation for me or fear for the police or immigration border patrol. The terrible fear that I had experienced for years ended for me. The fear that I went through is the same fear that immigrants still experience today. Even though now I am a US citizen, I feel a lot of compassion for all undocumented immigrants that are living in this country because I have been in the same situation that they are in now. I pray to God for them because they crossed the border for the same reasons that I once did. They come escaping poverty and violence. They come seeking an opportunity and a better life for them and for their family. Becoming a US citizen allowed me to finally leave the packing job. After years of working two daily jobs, I applied for a job as a custodian at Nordstrom, working the night shift. I was 27 years old then, and while my kids were in school, I started to doing some of the things that I wanted to do for a long time. I started taking English classes in the morning. Later on, I took my citizenship classes and passed the test. Moreover, I attended a community college to get an associate degree. From being a student, I then became one of the administrators in the community college. Even though I didn't complete the third grade, finally that 11 years old girl whose parents took out of school and was deprived from getting an education so that she will help with domestic labor could now pursue the education that she always wanted. I still remember my scratching, bleeding hands that had some parts where the skin had been peeled off. Those hands that helped me grab those lemons, oranges, and avocados, and then the corn in my agriculture work days fed me and helped me rescue my kids just when I needed the most. It seemed like a long time ago, but the farmer workers' conditions, unfortunately, haven't changed much since then. Most pickers and packers are still undocumented, have no legal status. It's ironic because they are considered essential workers and still get paid very low wages. They are on the front lines in this pandemic, even at higher risk because they can't afford to stop working. They also live together in small spaces, so if one gets sick, all going to get sick. They have no health insurance, no savings, benefits, or any kind of support, just like I never had. Today, I look at my hands and think, what would I have done without them? When I go to the grocery store, just like everybody else, I simply reach out and grab lemons, oranges, and avocados with my hands, no picking, no scratching, no thorns, no bleeding, no trembling, no pain, no packing. And when I grab the fruit and vegetables with my hands, it feels so effortless. And I think, how many things in life do we take for granted without knowing what's behind it or who's behind it? Make it all possible for me and for everybody else. So please remember my story as it speaks also about those immigrants, agriculture, and farm workers who perform this hard work for us. Without them, we will have no food on our tables. Thank you.